Proverbs 4:23. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. What does this mean for me in particular in my life, and I assume for a lot of you? We do not have to open our hearts to anyone that will harm us. We do not have to open our hearts to anything that will harm us. Above all, anything that will lead us to sin, anything at all that will distract us from Jesus. Close your heart to it. Your heart belongs to Jesus. Mine does. And you know what? When I had no discernment, when I was out in the world, I wore my heart on my sleeve. And well, I was playing the game too, the worldly game, and I was a liar. But people saw that I wore my heart on my sleeve, and they took advantage of it. And I got hurt again and again because I was stupid. Yeah, it was on me because I was walking far from Jesus. I was wrapped up in the world, and so I got what I deserved. Really, I did, because I was blind to what people were really about. And we know that there are more emotional vampires and predators than can be counted out there. And they're just looking for a free ride, and they're just looking for an easy way, and they're just looking for someone they can use to get something out of. That's the reality of the world we live in, and it's been like that since before the time of Christ, obviously. But now, living near, with our hearts united to Jesus, walking in his footsteps, we have discernment, the discernment of the Holy Spirit, and we can read people a lot more quickly. If you want to, if you seek the truth, you can still choose to be blind to what a person's really about. Not anymore. There are people in my life, not just family, but friends that I care about, but there's a boundary that I will not let them cross so they cannot harm my heart. Because I know they're not right. They're not, let's put it this way, they're not strong in their commitment to Jesus, or they're very carnal minded still. And they're infants in the walk with Christ, meaning they see everything based on the material world still, which means they lack a spiritual side, and they're dangerous. I'm not even saying they're new converts. It's not that at all. They just don't see the spiritual. And I might communicate with them a little, but only a little. I will not have a personal, intimate conversation with these people because they have their own issues to work through. This is not a judgment. It's really not. It's self-preservation. I pray for them, but I see very quickly where someone is in their walk with Jesus, and it makes me set up a boundary or build a little wall that they cannot cross over until they have reached a point where I feel comfortable communicating with them in a very personal way, because they're a threat to my heart. And you have to be the same. I believe you have to use your discernment and determine how much you're going to let them into your head and into your heart, because sometimes they'll want to take it over if you let them. I've had people suggest all sorts of crazy things to me. I say, no, 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 no. But I know right away because the Holy Spirit warns me. He really warns me. Alarm bells go off. Red alerts. No, no, no. This person, everything they think is carnal. Stay away. Stay away. Draw near to me. Draw near and listen to what I have to tell you, and I will give you wisdom. Before, I had no idea. I was clueless, and I got exactly what I deserved. Now I know. So if I let this person into my heart, into my mind, telling me things that I shouldn't be hearing, then it's on me, and they can even lead you to sin. There's nothing worse than that. So that's what it means. We have to protect our hearts from anything that will distract us from our relationship with Jesus Christ. And there's tons of people out there that they don't, and a lot of times they don't even know what they're doing, how destructive they are, because they're babies in their walk. They don't know. They're just learning, but then other times they do know. And that's where there's a demonic force at work. And I'm able to pick up on that very quickly. And I will show them the door very quickly, because they're dangerous to my soul. And that's what we need now. We have to use all the gifts of discernment that are given us. And how do we get these gifts? Through prayer. Continuous prayer. Day after day, hour after hour. Beware the person who spends very little time in prayer and all their time in research and nonsense. Be wary of that person. If that person isn't spending quality time with Jesus, run from them. It's a sure sign there's something not right. I'm speaking the truth, because the person who's in prayer day in and day out, morning, noon, and night, constantly in the Word, constantly seeking the truth and asking for the truth, will not lead you astray. How can they? Because they're doing what they're doing to draw near to Jesus, and He will. But it's time consuming, and it's good time spent. Not a moment spent in prayer is a wasted time. It's gold. So that's a sure sign. Ask, you can even ask, well, when do you have time to pray? When do you have time to study the Word? I can't. I got to do all this other stuff. Oh, okay. You don't have to open your heart to the nonsense. Shun it. Shut your door. The door of your heart, the door of your mind, so that you can stay close to Jesus. Use the gift of discernment that's given you when you draw near to Jesus. It'll work every time, and you'll get this feeling in your gut, no, this is not right. And guess what? Don't ignore it, because it's truth.